lovely people, Naina here. So a few weeks ago, my family and I went on a road trip, and because we all like to read, a road trip meant independent bookstores, and so I got 3 different books from 2 different independent bookstores, and I like to limit my books to either ones that I really like and know that I will read again and again, or books that I know I probably won't be able to find anywhere else, and limit my consumption to not overconsume a bunch. And so these are 3. The first one I have is Naomi Klein's This Changes Everything, Capitalism versus Climate. Ironic for a book. But it says, forget everything you think you know about global warming. The really inconvenient truth is that it's not about carbon, it's about capitalism. The convenient truth is that we can seize the existential crisis to transform our failed economic system and build something radically better. In her most provocative book yet, Naomi Klein, the author of global bestsellers The Shock Doctrine and No Logo, tackles the most profound threat to humanity has ever faced, the war our economic model is waging against life on Earth. So I'm assuming I talk a lot about this channel on overconsumption and capitalism and how it's destroying us, and so this just sounded really interesting. As a huge advocate for climate change, I was like, this is a must read. I'm very excited about this. So there's that one. The next one I have is If I Must Die by Rafat Al-Arir, and I've talked about this on this channel before. I have already read this, however, I finished it on a road trip, and I was like, I love this so much. I had checked it out from our local library, and was listening to the audiobook of it, and I was like, I need to own this. I need to be able to reference back and go back to this. And so I bought a physical copy, and I was able to find it at one of the bookstores. And this is by a former English professor named Rafat Al-Arir. He was murdered by Israel, and these are short stories and poems that he has written about living under the occupation and living through a genocide. And it is really heartbreaking to read and really hard to read, but also I think very important. He also talks about the US's involvement and about if he maybe just writes about what's actually happening there, then people in America and the politicians will listen and be able to see. And so yeah, I feel like this is an extremely important read. It's also very hard to read, but I did really love this, so I bought a physical copy of it. And then the next one I bought a physical copy of is Bread of Angels by Patti Smith. And this, I love Patti Smith, and I love Patti Smith's writing. I read one of her first books. I bought it when I was visiting New York. And this one is the most intimate of Patti Smith's memoirs. Bread of Angels takes us through her teenage years when the first glimmers of art and romance take hold. Arthur Rimbaud and Bob Dylan emerge as creative role models as she begins to write poetry and then lyrics, and ultimately begin emerging both with songs of iconic recordings such as Horses, Wave, and Easter. So this is about the beginnings of her life. I have read, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I'll put it maybe here if I remember. But I have read one of her books before, and I really loved it. I love her writing and her writing style, and so I'm excited to read this. She has a very complex life. But I love her, and she's always a great advocate and speaks out a lot, so there's that one. So that is all for this week's video. These are the 3 books that I got. Let me know if you read any of them down below, or if you have any reading suggestions. I love you all. As always, free Palestine. And I will see you next week with a brand new video. Bye!